Good morning, students. This is Professor Namita Bhatt. So I'll be taking Python programming. That is the subject code is 22CS643, and this is a 3 credit course. So that means you will have only the theory concept, not any practical the concepts. So this is open elective basically. The total hours is of 40 hours, and you will have 10 marks for the flipped class, and CIE marks is of 100 and SW is 100. So as you can see here, you should be having any programming language knowledge. So in Unit 1, we will be discussing the fundamentals of Python, like introduction to Python programming, how to install idle and all those things. And then we will be studying how to write the first program in Python programming. And you might be knowing that Python program has very easy syntax. The syntax is very simple, unlike C or C++. The syntax is not very complex. So in Unit 1, we will be discussing the way to write Python programming. And also we will be discussing the control statements, different types of statements. Um, so in Unit 1, all basic concepts of Python we will be discussing. And in Unit 3, it has three different chapters in it. In the first chapter, we are going to discuss about the functions and the modules. And we will be discussing how to import the modules inside a function. And we will be also discussing about the different data structures of Python programming. So there are three data structures that we will be discussing: list, tuples, and dictionaries. So in Unit 3, we will be discussing the files and the exception handling. Also, how to create GUI, that is graphical user interface in Python. So in first chapter, that is file input output, we will be discussing how to create file and how to deal with the text files and CSV files. So there are three types of files over here. The first one is text file, and the second one is CSV file. The third one is binary files. So we will be discussing how to extract the information from a text file, CSV file, and binary files, as well as how to display the information from these files. So there are different functions available for these operations. Then in the second chapter of Unit 3, we are going to discuss how to handle exceptions in Python. And we also will be discussing about the custom exceptions. So exceptions are nothing but runtime errors. So we can handle these exceptions so that our program will not crash. And in third chapter, we are going to deal with the graphical user interface, how to create interface for your program. So that for that we have some inbuilt modules. We are going to import those modules and use the inbuilt functions from those modules. And also we will be discussing a few of the programs and the exercise problems. And in Unit 4, we are going to discuss the important properties of the programming language, that is object-oriented programming. So here Python can be viewed as structural programming or object-oriented programming. The Python programming is also called scripting language. So you can use Python programming without object-oriented concept also, but with object-oriented, how to create our program. So that we are going to discuss in Unit 4. And in first chapter of Unit 4, we are going to discuss about the classes, concept, objects, how to create objects, what is a class, what is the difference between class and object, and what are the properties of object-oriented programming, like encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, all those things. And in the second chapter of object-oriented programming, we are going to discuss one of the important properties of object-oriented programming, that is inheritance. And also we are going to deal with overriding methods, how to override the methods and what are its uses. And coming to Unit 5, we are going to discuss the packages, how to create custom packages like modules. Then we are going to discuss the basics of NumPy and Pandas. So these two modules are very important if you want to pursue your career in machine learning or artificial intelligence. Right? These two packages are very important. So there are different functions or the modules available in these packages. So we are going to deal with how to use these packages or inbuilt functions so that we can build machine learning projects, right? So in NumPy is basically it is an array. So as you can see in the syllabus, we don't have any data structure called array, right? So we had data structure, list, tuple, and dictionaries, but there was no array concept. But in NumPy, we have the arrays, which is inbuilt data structure. So we are going to use this inbuilt data structure into our machine learning project. Okay. And then in the last chapter of this unit, we are going to deal with pandas. This pandas is basically used to deal with CSV files or data frames. So when you are importing the data set for your machine learning project, then you will have to import this module and use it in your project. Okay, this is all about our 5 units, the complete syllabus. And as you can see, the syllabus, it is not very complex. So this syllabus has been made keeping in mind that this is offered for open elective students, right? Yeah. So apart from these 40 hours, you will have like five flipped class sessions. So in flipped class sessions, I'll be giving you some of the topics. Along with those topics, I'll also be giving you the lecture notes or videos. So you will have to study those lecture notes and videos, and then you have to come prepared for the class. So I'll be asking or I'll be giving some assignments on these topics. Okay. Now, apart from these flip class sessions, we have self-study topics, installation of Python, how to install Python. So these topics have to be studied on your own. So the first one is installation of Python. How are you going to install Python? That you are going to like study on your own. And working with the date and times, how to extract current date and current time, right? So again, for that there are different modules. Again, those modules have to be studied on your own. And also the abstract classes, so this was not introduced in the syllabus, so this is part of your self study topics. So as we don't have much time, this topic has been given as a self study topic. And these are the preferred textbook and reference books. These textbooks are already available in the library. So the preferred textbook is Michael Urban and Joel Murak. The textbook name is Python Programming, right? So you can go for any edition of this textbook. The prescribed one is it is 2016 version. Okay. Yeah. So there are four course outcomes for this subject. The first outcome is illustrate basic principles of Python programming and demonstrate programs using the procedure oriented programming paradigm. So as I've already told you, there are two ways in which the Python programming can be used. One is through procedure oriented, where you will not be having any object oriented concept. So our first objective meets that particular concept. And the second course outcome is develop Python programs for file operations, exception handling, GUI, and make use of different packages for computing and manipulation. And the third course outcome is explain the concepts of object oriented programming and apply the same to develop programs. So this can be achieved through course activities. So you in this syllabus you have 20 marks, which is of course project. So here in the course project, I may be giving you some of the problem statements which you need to implement, or I'll be giving you some scenarios or case study which you need to study from like the papers, standard papers, and write a report on the same, or the questions need to be answered from those papers. So this carries 20 marks. So our third and fourth objectives can be achieved through this course project. And apart from this course project, you will be having two assignments. So for these two assignments, you can either go for industry certification courses, or I'll be giving you the assignment questions which you need to implement and submit the report. So this carries 20 marks. So 20 marks for your two assignments, 10 marks for each. So if you're going for certification courses, then the complete 20 marks will be given for the certification, and the remaining 20 marks for your course project. And apart from this, you have two IAs, which is of 30 marks each. So total 60 marks for your IAs, 20 marks for your assignments, and 20 marks for the course project. And as you already know, you have to attain 40% of 100 marks, which is 40 marks to be eligible for your SWE exam. So, yeah, this is the whole syllabus of Python programming. So I hope you have already gone through the syllabus, and you can see that the syllabus is very simple, and it is made for the open elective subject. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Professor Seena Kalgatki from Department of Computer Science, and I am going to have an introductory sessions for you people on the subject web programming. The course code is 22CS 644, and it's an open elective course with credits 3, and the number of hours is 40 hours. Students who do not have practicals or lab for this subject, and there is 10 hours of classes dedicated to flipped class, where we will be giving you the materials and you will be giving a session on that. And here on this course we have CIE marks 100 and SWE marks 100. So yes. So here to learn this subject, we do the prerequisites. That is, you need to know any concept or any basic programming language. Actually, it's not very complex as in the other programming languages, but yes, it's very simple. So web programming. Once you learn web programming, you will not be only visiting the web pages or websites, you will be having the capacity to create one. So if we go through this course and if we have the basics and fundamentals of this subject, you will be able and capable of creating and developing one website. Okay, so the very first unit is dedicated to fundamentals. So the to start with, to start to develop a single web page or a collection of web pages that make a website, we need to have all the fundamentals. So the very first fundamental here is knowing what is HTML. So HTML is nothing but hypertext markup language. So as I said, it is a programming language, but here there is no logic or there is no implementation. You just need to know the correct placements of all the tags. So HTML, that is hypertext, that is used on the client side and the server side. And markup language is nothing but where are you going to place your information on one hypertext or one web page on the browser. So wherever your images, your text you want to place, you need to make use of all the tags. So there are n number of tags and numerous and several tags that you will be introduced to, and that all will be covered in unit 1. So all we have is the basic syntax, the standard structure to develop one web page, all the markup tags that is required to develop one web page. For examples, in this simple examples that they have given is horizontal tag, the paragraph tag, the image tags, the citing tags, how to make the text, mark them, highlight them, make them bold, underline them. These are all simple tags that will help you to present your text properly on a web page. In detail, we will be doing that in Unit 1. Unit 2 is continuation of unit 1. That is, we from the basic tags we will be moving towards a little complex and advanced tags. That is, if you want to include tables, images, links into links, list, okay, these all will be done in unit 2. Students, actually, web page or website has three important pillars. First one is the structure, second one is the styling or presentation of the web page, and the third one is the functioning. So here, if you observe, the first two units we are doing is the structure. So on a web page, whatever image, whatever text or information that we want to display on the website will be taken care by all the tags. So in the first two units, we are going to take care of how a structure can be built or a skeleton can be built on a web page or of a website. The third unit introduces to a concept called as CSS, that is cascading style sheet. So once you are done with the basic information and the information to display on the website, now you have to make it presentable. Now you have to design that. Now you have to make it colorful and beautify that. So CSS helps you to beautify your website with different colors, with different styles, with different placements. So here in the third unit, we are going to see cascading style sheets that helps you to style your website according to the client's requirement. So we have different types of CSS. We are going to see their rules, how to write CSS and how to cascade them along with the HTML. So in the first two units, you will be able to develop HTML code. In the third unit, you will be able to write CSS styling sheets, and then you will be able to integrate them or blend them together so that the style of CSS will get applied to the HTML tags and your information. And because of which your website will start looking beautiful. It will start looking presentable. The fourth unit is, it is introducing you to the JavaScript. So JavaScript is, we can say, it's the main hero over here because whatever your skeleton has been beautified with CSS, it will start functioning because of JavaScript. So earlier I told you it has three important pillars, that is the structure, the style, and the functioning. So JavaScript actually makes the web pages dynamic. So here again we have two types of websites or web pages, that is static web pages and dynamic web pages. Static is where the web page do not interact with the users. So if you do any clicking business on the web page, it doesn't interact with you. So if you have seen, for example, all the commercial websites of products, if you're doing online shopping and all, if you just click or hover on a mouse on a product, it starts zooming in. That is a dynamic page. But if the product doesn't zoom in or doesn't change its size or doesn't shrink in, it is a static page. So JavaScript helps you to develop dynamic pages and all your websites starts actually functioning. So here we will be studying the client and the server side functioning also, and we will be seeing how exactly the client works with the website and how the server serves all the requests on a website. So here we are going to see all the again the fundamentals of JavaScript, how to write JavaScript. Okay, so please make a note. JavaScript is completely different from Java language, Java programming language. Java language is completely different from JavaScript. So we will be studying why it is different and why it is called again JavaScript. So JavaScript is a scripting language. Actually, it's not a programming language. So yes, and the last one, last unit is again the continuation of JavaScript. Here, apart from the basics, now we will be learning all the how functions can be written in JavaScript. So we have loops, we have logical operators, we have comparison operators, we have conditional operators, and then we will be able to use event handlers where something happens on the web page when the mouse is over some element, or what should happen when the mouse is removed from that product or from that element. These all we will be able to do on a single web page or the collection of web pages, that is a website. So as I have told you already that we have 10 hours or 10 classes for flipped class. So these are a few basic topics that you have to do it on your own. That is self study. That is what is internet. I hope everyone will be knowing about this. So what is internet and how it started, what is its history, what is world wide web, it is nothing but www, and what is the differences between xhtml and html. So yeah, so we have the textbooks, this is available in the library. We also have few online resources that I'll be telling in the class. So from those resources also you can learn and explore a lot. Yeah, and then there is in the syllabus, Coursera also has been recommended, where you can have a course, you can complete a course, and this will add it to your resume. So we have four course outcomes over here. So you have understanding levels and applications. Applications we have we have the apply level because we will be developing and writing codes. So you can expect that once we are done with the course, entire course, that is learning HTML, learning CSS, and learning JavaScript. So HTML is the structure, CSS is the styling, and JavaScript is the functioning of a web page. So once you are done with this, you will be you can apply for the jobs like web page designings, website designers. You can also learn backend in an advanced course, and you can become full stack developer, which is in high demand in market now. So yes, so we are done here, and the scheme of evaluation is we will be having two IA test CIs of 30 marks each. You'll be having two assignments. If the assignments, if you complete a course that can be considered for 20 marks, and then you will be having a project. So where you have to develop a web page, or sorry, not a web page, but a website, and it has to be demonstrated to the faculties, that carries 20 marks. Yes, thank you.
Very good. Good morning, everyone. Uh, I'm Dr. Shashank Bangi from Department of Civil Engineering. For the coming academic year, we are going to offer open elective on remote sensing and geographical information system. So, before going to the syllabus of remote sensing and GIS, I just would like to create an awareness about remote sensing and GIS. You may think this particular subject is new to you, but in day-to-day life, you people are using it unknowingly or knowingly. So that's why I just would like to give some of the examples where we are using this particular technology. So here are the some of the example. So you people might be using Google Map, Google Earth, Zomato, Ola Cab, Per Cabs, Here Maps, and all these things. So these all apps are developed on the platform of remote sensing and GIS. If there is no remote sensing, if there is no GIS technology, then uh, you'll not be able to develop the location-based services. So based on this technology, many companies have started their business on this kind of platform. Okay, along with this, you can see who is using GIS over here. Some of the international organizations such as World Bank, private industries such as uh, transport, real estate, and insurance companies, and some government agencies such as Ministry of Environment, Housing, and local authorities, and some agencies related to the transportation are also making use of this particular technology. Even non-profit organizations uh, are also using this, and as we are the academicians, we are also using this particular technology. Okay, so in this technology, you are going to study about the drone surveying also, one of the latest technology where we can map the uh, ground with the help of drones. So one of the advantage of this particular technology is it gives the output in the form of images and maps. So if we express the output in the form of word, it is very difficult to communicate with so many people in the world. So if you communicate it in the form of word, what happens? The language barrier will come into the matter, right? So if the same information is represented in the form of image, so everyone can look at the image and everyone can understand what is the overview of that particular area. So that is one of the advantage over here. Here also one of the example where we can see which countries are following the left side orientation and which countries are following right side orientation. If we express the same thing in the form of tabular column, it is very difficult to read and take the overview of the entire world. But the same thing is represented in the form of image where you will get the entire overview of the world. So this is one of the advantage of this particular technology. So coming to the curriculum, remote sensing and GIS is divided into 5 units. In the first units, you are going to learn about remote sensing and uh, sensors and platforms. In second unit, you are going to learn GPS, DGPS, and photogrammetry. In third unit, you are going to learn about the GIS. Okay, and in the fourth unit, you are going to learn about image interpretation and drone survey. And in the last unit, you are going to learn about applications of remote sensing and GIS. Okay, so just I'll go through the syllabus of this particular subject. So, Unit 1 consists of the concept of remote sensing, how to understand remote sensing, and how to understand the behavior of the electromagnetic spectrum in different wavelengths, and how to make use of that, and how to look beyond the visible spectrum, and what are the different spectral bands are there, and how to represent the data in the form of spectral reflectance curve. All these things you are going to learn in the unit 1, and also you are going to learn different platforms. Okay, so here I'll just show you. This is one of the ideal process of remote sensing, how we represent. Okay, detailed explanation of this will be given in the class. And these are the some of the platforms what we use in the remote sensing. We can use the remote sensing on the ground also, in the space also, in the air also. So that all platforms are listed over here. Next, the unit 2 consists of GPS and photogrammetry. Okay, as you know, nowadays most of the apps are developed based on the location-based services, right? So there, GPS plays a very important role. If there is no GPS, then you'll not be able to find your location on the entire world. So that's why the concept of GPS and DGPS plays a very important role. Along with the GPS, DGPS, you are going to learn aerial photogrammetry, where you can convert the images into map. Okay, so we can find out the scale of the image and we can do the measurement on the photograph. So that is one of the advantage of photogrammetry. And this is the some of the example how we execute photogrammetry and how we use photogrammetry in transformation of image to the map. And the drone survey is also completely based on the photogrammetric concept only. Next, coming to the Unit 3 deals with particularly on the GIS and coordinate system, because from the remote sensing and area photogrammetry, we get the data and then we take that particular data and we process it in the GIS. GIS is nothing but geographical information system, where we take the spatial data and we process the data and finally get the output in the form of map. Okay, and also to represent any data, the coordinate system plays a very important role because we need the measurements on that particular maps. So that's why coordinate system is also required, because the Earth is in curved shape, it is not in the flat shape. So to execute any operations on that particular platform, we need to convert the curved surface into flat surface. That's why coordinate system is also necessary. And these are the some of the example where we can club different layers with the help of GIS. How to club and all these things, that will be explained in the class. And the right side, you can see the coordinate system, where the coordinate system, the circular coordinate system is converted into flat coordinate system. Okay, and coming to the Unit 4 deals with the image interpretation and integration of remote sensing and GIS. Because in this particular syllabus, you study remote sensing separately and GIS separately. and ultimately you need to club both the technology to get the output. So that's why integration of remote sensing is required, and the what are the different softwares available in this particular technology, that also you are going to study in this fourth unit. And along with this, you are going to study about the drone survey also, what are the fundamental, what are the steps involved to fly the drone, and how to take the outputs, and where to use it, that all you can learn in this particular unit. Okay, this is the just explanation of that particular unit. And coming to the fifth unit is all about the applications. Whatever you have learned from first unit to fourth unit, that you are going to apply in this particular uh, subjects like land use, land cover mapping, change detection studies, and studies on agriculture, site suitability analysis, and case studies on water resource engineering and management. Wherever it is possible, there we can apply the remote sensing. As this subject is not related to only one particular branch, it is a multidisciplinary subject. Anybody can make use of this, and anybody can use in different applications. Okay, so these are the some of the examples of applications where you can use for land use, land cover, environmental planning, transportation planning, urban planning, infrastructure, mapping, survey, mining, agriculture, like that. N number of applications are there. Okay. So coming to the another advantage, from 2022, GATE has started taking geomatics engineering as one of the subject, where and if you look at the syllabus is almost similar to this particular subject. If you study this particular subject, you can appear for the gate in geomatics engineering and you can qualify. In 2022, for the first time I have appeared for the exam, and that exam I got 75th rank all over India. So you can also try and you can also get a better ranking. And also, if you are really interested, you can do masters and higher studies in this particular technology. So, and along with that, in our college, we have IIRS ISRO outreach program. So, free of cost online courses are running. Even you can be the part of this particular course, you can register, and all the courses are almost relevant to this particular subject. And you can take that particular courses and you can get the certificate from the ISRO. And also, if you appear for the online exam, you can get the merit certificate from ISRO also. So these are the some of the advantage for this particular subject. If you are really interested in the space science and remote sensing technology, you can enroll for this subject, and you can learn this particular subject. Okay, thank you very much. If you have any doubts, you can contact me with my email ID. Okay, thank you.
Morning, students. This is the open elective subject offered by Aeronautical Engineering Department, and the subject is for sixth semester aircraft systems. So, hope you are very much fascinated about the aircraft, and if you are very seeking to know about how does this aircraft operates, then aircraft systems plays a very important role, or a very vital role. So aircraft systems is such a wonderful subject where it actually helps us to know about the different systems that are operating in an aircraft. It can be mechanical systems, electrical systems, hydraulic, pneumatic, and as recently we have seen the development of the electronics to a great extent. We call it as a avionics. So this aircraft system is uh, is one of the subject which is more interesting offered from our department. So this is for 40 hours, and you will be having the internal marks for 100 marks, which is splitted into two internals, 30 marks and 30 marks, and two assignments, 10 marks, 10 marks each, and finally a course project of 20 marks. So totally it will wind up to 100 marks, and you will be having the external examination, that is a semester end examination for 100 marks. So whereas this doesn't have any particular lab assigned with this is not an integrated course. So you only have a course subject. Where the unit 1 actually follows with the traditional or the conventional aircraft systems that were offered or that were used during the initial stage of when the aircraft was developed. So we talk about the cockpit instruments, the various instruments a pilot actually needs in order to have a safety flight and reach from the source to the destination. So we have the control systems, we have the controls of the cockpit or the joystick, and the other instruments such as mechanical, as I mentioned, and electrical. Then you have hydraulic systems, pneumatic systems, and the avionic systems. Whereas this all initial conventional or the traditional aircraft systems are discussed related with the unit 1. So unit 1 actually gives you an idea of the different systems that play an important role in an aircraft, which are used from the very long back, even till today, that plays a very important role. So the second unit actually deals with exactly with the aircraft electrical systems. Here we concentrate on why we had to replace with the mechanical system, as it occupied most of the space and even it was adding up to the weight in the aircraft instruments to the aircraft weight. So, when we developed with the electrical, slowly the mechanical systems were replaced by the aircraft electrical systems. And this has played a very vital role in bringing down the weight of the aircraft, also providing the much safety, and even the space occupied by the electrical system and the electronic systems is quite very less as compared to the mechanical systems. So here we deal with the aircraft electrical systems, how the power is generated so that aircraft has a possibility of takeoff with the auxiliary power, and then the engine power supports the aircraft takeoff, lift, flight, and then your descent or landing of the aircraft. So the power generation, the distribution of the electrical power within the cockpit or within your aircraft systems in the entire cabin also. So this also deals with your circuit, how it has to be protected, the circuit protections, and if the power is if there is a engine is lost, if it is not working, then we actually depend upon the batteries. So how many batteries are required and what should be the position of the batteries, where it has to be fixed, and to what extent the batteries can be used. So these all things are related with the second unit. So this second unit completely deals with how we have replaced a few of the mechanical systems and introduced the electrical system so that the efficiency of the aircraft can be increased and even it can assure the safety. And the third system, as I told you, hydraulic systems and the pneumatic systems, where we use different fluids or the air under pressure in order to have some of the movements in your aircraft surfaces. So control the aircraft surfaces so that you can have a lift, so that you can descend, or during your landing, so it can be the extension of the landing gear, or it can be retracting of the landing gear, where you require this hydraulic units or the pneumatic units so that it can be operated properly. So the third unit deals with pneumatic systems and the hydraulic systems. The fourth unit, as I told you, it deals with your pneumatic systems, and this also extends to the maintenance in the aircraft systems within the cockpit and even in the cabin also. And we do also have, like, once an aircraft has landed, then it really needs a proper maintenance so that it is ready for the next flight. So the unit 4 not only covers your pneumatic systems but also deals with the maintenance, types of maintenance it can be, which is offered by the ground staff or ground supporting staff, which is responsible for the troubleshooting or your maintenance. So these things are covered in the fourth unit. And the fifth unit actually deals with the cabin, where it is usually provided to the passengers, and there you need to deal with the proper oxygen supply. The pressure has to be maintained in the cabin, and which we call it as the environmental control systems. So normally we call it as a aircraft environmental control system, and here you take care about your at different altitudes, what should be the oxygen level, what should be the pressure level within the cabin. It deals with your air conditioning and heating systems. And heating system, it comes when you are at the higher altitudes or in the regions where where ice or snowfall is possible, and in order to take care about your cockpit which is having a wind shield, so there at certain points, and even your engine where this snow or the ice actually affects, so the heating systems are really required so that it melts down your ice. And whenever your aircraft is on the ground, if it is in the taxiway or if it is in the hangar, it may be exposed to the environment, cold environments. So you require the heating systems in order to maintain it in a proper way. So this ventilation, it can be heating systems, it can be protection from the rain, it can be, and any other environmental factors that affects our aircraft systems. So all this is covered in your unit 5 that deals with your environmental control systems. So we do have the avionics cooling systems and the pressurization systems and the ECS maintenance and troubleshooting. As I told you, once your aircraft is grounded or if it has landed, then a proper maintenance has to be uh, carried out so that it is ready for the next flight. So this particular subject also has a flipped class which will carry about 10 marks. So then you have two internals, 30 marks each, two assignments. These assignments can be related with your subject, what we have mentioned now. The topics will be given by me, or you can also have a case study. Based on the case studies, what happens? Any event related with the aircraft, whether during its flight, if it has faced any engine failure, how it has been happened, or what is the investigation procedure. Now, what is the outcome? What are the measures, safety measures we have taken so that it doesn't get repeated? So these can be a case study. Even in case of any accident has happened, and it comes under aircraft accident investigation. So these can be considered as a case study where you will get a thorough idea of what has actually happened and what could have been done so that an aircraft accident could be prevented. And this is actually taken by the black box, with the help of the black box or the information provided by the black box and by the ATC. So these case studies helps us to know in deeper way of the subjects what we are dealing in the 5 units. So this can be accomplished in your assignments, or even it can be also a part of your course project. So course project will be for 20 marks. So totally it will be for 100 marks, and your semester in the examination will be also for the 100.
Good morning, all. Myself, Nitin Deshpande. I'm working as assistant professor in Department of Civil Engineering, KLS GIT Belgavi, and I'm going to introduce you related to Civil Engineering Department open elective. That is the second open elective which is offered, Solid Waste Management, having a subject code 22CV 643. Basically, when we want to talk about the management part, there are different categories like solid, liquid, and gaseous, and this is one of the important component that comes in picture because it is generated residential, commercial, institutional, as well as different biomedical waste or e-waste which are categorized. And now there are different rules and regulations related to e-waste or biomedical waste. And Solid Waste Management Act is also been provided, and regular basis you are seeing how the waste management system is being done, especially for the smart cities. So this is a open elective course of 3 hours per week, and having flipped classes 10 hours, where you are going to study the case studies related to the different management systems that are adopted for different locality, whether it is regional, national, or international, by governing the standards. We have different learning outcomes, like you are going to see the source and type, you are going to see the hierarchy, you're going to see the methods for treating it, and how you are going to involve in site selection of different sanitary landfills. So the unit 1 talks basically on introduction to the solid waste management. Usually the prerequisite for this is environmental studies. In unit number 1, you are going to study a little part related to solid waste management, and also in unit number 5 related to legal laws and framework. That is what introduction here you are going to define. You are going to define solid waste, then you are going to talk about how the land is getting polluted or the soil is getting polluted, and then you are going to think on the functional aspect and the importance of this particular solid waste management. Later you are going to take the sub category, that is sources, its classification and characterization, and how you are going to solve problems related to energy and moisture content, that is composition of solid waste. And basically in this unit 1 you are going to concentrate more on the different case studies of the regional locality that you are going to consider. In unit 2 you are going to take collection and transportation, how you are going to collect the solid waste, how you are going to use, which type of equipment you are going to use, how you are going to transfer it, and you are going to have problems on route optimization, where you are going to define which is the best route, which is feasible and economical. And the sub part of this is you are going to see the treatment processes that are involved, maybe separation process, volume reduction, and size reduction. And also in later stages we are going to bifurcate this waste in terms of dry waste and wet waste, where we are going to define its reduction in terms of chemical reduction and biological processing that are going to take place. In the unit 3, we are only going to talk on disposal. We have different disposal systems that are involved. If we go with solid waste, we go for open dumping. If we go for waste which has to be dumped in ocean, it is called as ocean disposal. And certain waste like biomedical waste are either incinerated or pyrolyzed. And the sugar industry which generates the waste, usually it is done with the composting part, where organic manures generated can be utilized for different purpose in the society. Okay, then unit number 4, we are going to talk on sanitary landfills, which is linked with the objectives. You are going to see which type of sanitary landfills you are going to identify, its classification, its method, and the site selection related to it. And also, you are going to have problem related to cell design, where you are going to see how compactable you are going to use this. You are going to dump this solid waste to that particular dumping yard with a proper technique. And here I am going to take some of the international case studies where you are going to take up you are going to see how the disposal site and the sanitary landfills are utilized in a proper way, that we call it as eco-friendly landfills. And lastly, after studying all these things, like your basic of solid waste, then the treatment, the various sources, the methods, disposal methods, and then the identification of landfills, we have to define 3 R's: recycle, reuse, and reduce. So we are going to redefine this to have some energy recovery and material recovery. And also nowadays there is one word which is in boom, and also the case studies are done related to this in civil engineering. It is plastic waste that has been generated and its significance, and also the life cycle assessment for different waste that have been taken into picture, and the bylaws related to solid waste management. And as I told you, the fifth classes will be entirely on case studies related to regional, national, and international standards. And lastly, we are going with, these are some of the textbooks that you can go with. And CPHU manual is there, which is of the year 2016 when the laws was implemented, and the NPTEL courses. Okay, and after learning this, you are going to know the importance and the identification of the source, also the process that is involved, and the methods that are used in solid waste to have a proper waste that is been done. So we call it as a solid waste management. How to manage all this sources that are generated from different categories, so that will be known to you. Okay, so this is how we are going to consider, right? And this is the pattern. And when we come to application part, we are only going to think how it is applicable to the society. It is applicable in terms of energy generation, it is applicable in terms of recycling, it is application in terms of compositing, it is application in terms of environmental protection, to have a proper ecosystem, and also it talks about public health improvement and economic development point of view. So these are few applications which are involved with this particular subjects. And this is how the waste generated, disposed, collection and processing takes place in the process of managing the waste, that we term it as a solid waste management. So this is from my side. If any query is there, you can come to Department of Civil Engineering, and I'll be there in room number AF 15, and you can have the query related to solid waste management. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Good morning, all. So I am Dr. Pawan Kunchu, Professor, Department of CSC, KLS Gupta Institute of Technology. Today I am here to discuss about this open elective subject, that is data structures. So why do we learn data structure? Why data structure matters? So for optimize storage and retrieval of the data, enhance performance and scalability of applications, enable efficient algorithm implementation. For all these things, we need data structure basics, especially for 6 semester students. Uh, the applications of data structures, they have a vast applications, uh, and also in the placement. The last 2 3 years, the survey has been done. This subject was very useful to those students who have opted for this subjects. We have 5 units starting from arrays, where we learn static storage and its applications can be used in image processing. Then go with the linked list. Some dynamic memory undo operations are there. We learn very basics about stacks and queues, which are used in backtracking and task scheduling. Then we move on to trees. Hierarchical databases useful are there in the tree, where we learn binary search trees, insertion, deletion. Then graphs, networks and social media connections, hash tables, fast lookups and caching. So all these are, so totally all these concepts are covered in the data structure for open elective subject for 6 semester students, which is clubbed into 5 units. So the students, especially E and C students, mechanical branch students, or civil, any other branches either uh, rather than CS or IS. If you people are planning for a software companies, so this is one of the best subject at the right time. So 6 semester is the right time to learn data structures. We in this subject we study in depth of these concepts. Application oriented concepts, industry oriented concepts are learned. So what are the industry applications? E-commerce, search and recommendation engines, trees, hash tables are used. And in social media, graphs for connection and recommendations. Gaming, pathfinding and AI graphs, priority queues are used. In finance, real-time processing heap stacks are used. And in the healthcare, we use efficient patient record managements, where we make use of a trees and linked lists. So these are the various industry applications. So once if you see these various industry applications, we can say that the company which are especially visiting GIT, if you group these applications, all the companies that are visiting GIT for the placements, they are come under either e-commerce, social media, gaming, finance, or healthcare. So learning this subject at this time will really help the students to crack this placement interview. So thank you.
Hello, this is Dr. Smita Kapoor, introducing about the applied statistics and open elective for sixth semester. It is for all branches of sixth semester students. What are the silent features? Statistics, as we all know, it provides a powerful tool for understanding the data collected from the experiments and other activities. Engineering relies heavily upon statistics in many ways, from using statistical models from problem solving to help to make decisions based on probability. Now, this subject, open elective, it is divided into 5 units. The first unit is about the field of statistics, in which we'll be studying with the importance of statistics in business, economics, biological, physical sciences, limitations of statistics, inappropriate comparisons, misinterpretation of association or correlation due to inadequate sample size. Second unit is about moments, skewness, and kurtosis. And it's about introduction to moments, moments about the mean, skewness to negative skewness, positive skewness. We'll be studying with the measure of skewness and kurtosis. We'll be dealing with more of practical and engineering related problems in the second unit. Third unit is about multiple correlation and regression, curve fitting. Um, Multiple correlation and regression, it's bivertite, trivertite problems based on error of correlation coefficient. We'll be studying with the Sperman's rank correlation coefficient, curvilinear regressions. We'll be studying with standard error of estimate or residual variances. Least square curve fitting and related error computation. We'll be dealing with more practical examples based on engineering related examples. The fourth unit is about analysis of variance, ANOVA in short called as. The purpose of analysis of variance is a one-way classification, variation within treatments, variation between treatments, total variation, expected values of variation, distribution of variation, ANOVA table, two-way classification, variation for two-way classification, experiments with replication, and experimental design. In this chapter, the unit 4 analysis of variance will be dealing with more number of experimental examples uh, based for all the branches. Fifth unit is about non-parametric test, introduction, the sign test, the man-Whitney U test, the Kurzweil-Wallis H test corrected for ties, the run test for randomness, and further application of run test, Sperman's rank correlation. Um, Now, what is the importance of this open elective? Looking at some of the real world uses of statistics may help you appreciate how vital they are for engineers, especially when it comes to uh, inventing new goods or inventions. Here is a brief list of role of statistics in engineering. You can think of design of experiments. Statistical technique for optimizing designs, processes, and product is called as a design of experiments, DOE in short. By applying DOE approaches, production processes can be greatly optimized, leading to increased in product quality, lower cost, and increased reliability. We can study statistics for quality control. We can see in engineering, quality control is critical and fundamental to ensure that all the products and services meet the required standards in terms of quality and safety. So, statistical process control methods are most commonly used for quality control. and involve monitoring and controlling variables during manufacturing to ensure that the products meet required standards. The statistics are mainly used for risk analysis. Knowing what risks are most likely to occur helps engineers make better decisions to maximize productivity and minimize losses. So we can see the application in decision making. Better decision making is one of the key benefits of applying statistical concepts in engineering. For example, if part of a system fails repeatedly, statistical analysis can help identify the underlying cause. Statistical methods such as regression analysis can also help engineers to identify the factors that influence a particular process, allowing them to make informed decision about the process. It's We can see the chapters what we study are the some of the methods are used in predictive modeling. Predictive modeling, it uses statistics to project future results. This is accomplished by creating mathematical models that make use of statistical methods, including machine learning algorithms, regressions, and time series forecasting. So if you look into statistics, engineers do not work in isolation. You can say they interact with different disciplines, including statistics. From probability to experimental designs to hypothesis testing to quality control, the statistical methods used in engineering allow for data-backed decision making and assesses the uncertainty and risk involved in a real-world environment. So this is about the open elective floated by mathematics department. Thank you. And the intake for this course is 60. And most probably, Dr. Anjana Joshi will be handling this course. So this is applied statistics with the subject code as 21 MAT 662, and it is open elective for 6th semester of all the branches. Thank you.
Good afternoon. This is about the subject Cyber Shield, hands-on cybersecurity practices, which is an open elective for the circuit branches like CS, IS, and electrical. So the subject is about cybersecurity training, which was taken under Microsoft syllabus. And we have the syllabus, which is divided into 5 units. That is, first unit being cybersecurity system fundamentals, introduction to virtualization, what is VPN, what are the virtual machines, introduction to cybersecurity tripod. Unit 2 is about network security threats and countermeasures. That is, what are the network security devices, how to secure them, what is tunneling of protocols, IDS, IPS, and types, and web application and its security. Then best practices of web application security with the different tools, device management, etc. Unit 3 talks about firewall and its types. What are the firewalls? How to configure them? How to protect your IP address with firewalls? Then network analysis, that is with network analysis, packet analysis with Nmap. Then unit 4 is about cryptography, that is different types of cryptographic attacks, cryptographic algorithms. What are the traditional modules with a tool called crypto? Unit 5 is about web server and the application security, wherein we are talking about how to secure your web server with Warp Suite and secure coding techniques with OWASP. So we have in the syllabus 5 units, which will be covered in short. Based on these syllabus, we are covering 10 experiments right from the setup of virtual lab till testing your password strength and creating the passwords of good strength. So these 5 units will have two experiments each, which you have to perform. About the scheme of evaluation, there will be a part of internal evaluation as well as external evaluation. Internal evaluation will consist of a theory paper, that is your regular IA, which is of 25 marks. And there will be a lab test wherein, based on those 10 experiments, we are taking a test of 15 marks. Then you have to choose a project topic, take the approval, and start implementing a project, which will be evaluated in 2 phases. First phase consisting of 25 marks, which is for ideation and conceptualization, along with a block diagram building. Then project phase 2 is about the implementation and results with discussion. Based on these project phase 2 outputs, you are writing a project report which is evaluated for 10 marks. So a total of internal evaluation is for 100 marks, out of which you have to score 40% and above in the theory component, 40% and above in the project component to be eligible for the semester end examination. The semester end examination will be conducted by an internal examiner along with an external examiner, which will be evaluated for 100 marks. You have to show your project, you have to write up, and you have to execute. So the marks are divided accordingly. Here also, the score should be above 35%, with overall score of CIE plus SW should be greater than or equal to 40%. So this is about the scheme. Here, mainly the takeaway is you are going to develop a cybersecurity project, which will be added as a good weightage to your CV, along with which you are going to get some theoretical concepts about cybersecurity. So it is a very good opportunity to grow in the field of cybersecurity and take it as a further career option. Thank you.
Hello, all students. I'm Professor Ashish Gargar. I'm giving you the overview of fundamentals of robotics, open elective offered by Department of ENC for the sixth semester. So when you talk about robotics, why is it necessary to have knowledge of robotics, or why is it necessary? So basic reason being that the next decade or so is going to belong to robotics. This is stated by one of the scientists of Meta, saying that until the next generation of AI or the second generation of AI comes into picture, robotics is going to continue in this way. So you need to have sufficient knowledge of robotics so that it will help you to in your job expertise. So since you will be now working in most of the things will be done in robotics, so you need to know enough knowledge about robotics so you can take on the role of a robotic engineer. So this is the brief outline of the system, or why we need to study the importance of robotics that I just told you now, and then why other departments students need to choose can or should choose the subject. So basically, robotics is a field which is involved or it does not involve just a particular department student. So it requires interdisciplinary approach. So students of all department need to come together and develop a robot. So there is also a Yandra lab setup which is present in our department. So we will use that, and you can students can take part in there are in the competitions of Yandra, that is Yandra robotics competition and innovation competition, wherein you can submit projects, and we will consider it as part of a course activity, which is the one of the as per the scheme of the syllabus. Then, as we are using with or working with various departments, so we'll be since the subject is purely theoretical in purpose, we will introduce the practical aspect in this, wherein you can take part of this or create project and to have a better idea of this and submit this as part of the Yantra robotics competition, or we will consider those projects as one of the course activity part of your for course. Then you'll also be seeing here the various companies working in the domain and how this will help you to get a job. So we'll just be seeing what is a robotics technology and various types of robots which are present. So basically, what is a robot? So robot is nothing but a reprogrammable, multifunctional, automatic industrial machine which is designed to replace humans in the hazardous work. Note, I am telling you this that it is designed to help to humans or replace humans in hazardous work. So hazardous work could include a chemical spillage or in a nuclear reactor. So there, instead of we going as doing the work, it will be helpful for us to use a robot in that scenario. So as you can see, there is it can be used to perform uh, various tasks. So it can be used as an automatic machine sweeper. It is already existing. It is a automatic car for a child, so like a toy car, which is also present. Then machine removing mines in a warfield. So this can be taken up as one of the projects and done in our college itself. Along with that, it is used in space, in military applications, and many other fields also. So basically, what is robotics? So robotics is a science of designing or building an application of robots. Simply put, robotics can be defined as a study of robots. Here, the aim of robotics is to design a efficient robot. So basically, all the robots which are designed have to be optimized. So they need to do the job efficiently. So that is what the field of robotics deals with. Why is robotics needed? So it's needed to perform the task with speed. They can also work in hazardous and dangerous environment or temperature. They can do repetitive tasks. So wherein the humans can get bored if we do repetitive tasks, but the robots can do this task repetitively and without any problems. And they can do that with high accuracy. Now, the robotics technology or most of the industrial robots consist of basic five parts, which are sensors, effectors, actuators, controllers, and arms. So sensors, as the name suggests, it does the job of sensing the objects. So like how for us we have eyes, ears, nose as our sensors. Robots also have various sensors. Those could be like a speed sensor, temperature sensor, or any IR sensor. So these come into part of sensors. The effectors are what effectively a robot will do after performing the operation. Actuators are ones which perform the or do the job of activating the effectors. So it could be like a simple switch, it could be a relay, which all comes into picture. The controllers are the ones which do the job of what a robot should do. So controller is basically a brain of a robot and what it can do. So here wherein your various tips and or controllers come into picture. And arms are basically the what robot should do. Like how our arms do, the robot will do the same job. In case it's a humanoid robot, or in case of a wheeled robot, it is just the movement of the wheels. Or it depends on different types of robots which are being used. So this is just showing you the diagrammatic representation of what is a sensor, what is the effector. So you can see here the sensor part is just a arm kind of a device which is shown. Along with that, there are various sensors which are used and fitted in this. Effector here is showing you what effector is. Like this is the example for a spray painting job. Controller is where your chips come into picture. It could be a simple microcontroller. It could be any other chip which you are familiar with. But it will be the heart of the robot, which is doing, and the brains of the robot, which what it will describe, what it will do after programming is introduced in it. So ARM here is showing you what the particular, it is just showing that it can be used to pick up a project, sorry, object. Then if we talk about automation and robots, so automation has a different advantage that you don't need any intervention or human intervention, and work will progress on its own. So it's a machinery designed to carry out a specific task. So a simple example could be a bottling machine, which is present in industries, a dishwasher, or a paint sprayer. Whereas robots are machinery which are designed to carry out variety of tasks. So pick and place arms come into picture. So this is a very popular pick and place robot, which you must have already heard about. Then there are various mobile robots. There are computer numerical control machines or CNC machines or are of this. So some of the idle tasks which are performed are generally dangerous. So space exploration comes into picture. So your Mars rovers is one of the example of this. Then chemicals spill cleanup. So don't want to get associated with chemical, which can cause a lot of problem for us. So in that scenario, robot can be used. Disarming bombs are another area in which a robot can be used, which could be harmful for a human being. So this is one of the things which you can take up as a project and continue. And then also with disaster cleanup or disaster management. Then they are used to perform boring and repetitive tasks. So it could be welding car frames, pick and place parts in one of the other scenario, then various manufacturing parts. Now, at the same time, they are used for jobs which require high precision. So your surgery and electrical electronics testing, precision machinery come under this. So nowadays, what is happening is robots are being used in medical field also to carry out surgery. In this scenario, they are called robots, which they help the doctor while carrying out a surgery. So the bottommost image shows you the same thing, that how they can be used in surgery. So now robots are not just limited only to a engineering field, but they are expanding to medical fields also. Now the most various types of robots are mobile robots, stationary robots, autonomous, remote control robots, and virtual robots. So your autonomous robots are the ones wherein your AI comes into picture, and you can integrate robots along with AI. And this is the next field which is going to be where you will be using the robot for that purpose, wherein your AI will be get integrated with the robots, and the robots will perform the task autonomously. So some of the companies which are working in robotics are mentioned here. So ABB, it's a US-based company. Then Denso, Kuka and Fanuc, which are having manufacturing plants in Kolhapur as well as Hubli. Then Yaskawa Electric, so it's a Japanese company. Then Mitsubishi Electric, so another company which is having a center here in India. So this is a even bigger list of companies which are working in the field of robotics. So the above mentioned companies are already there. These are some additional companies. So you can still see ABB, Fanuc, and Kuka present here. iRobot is also one. So you can see one of the bigger and well-known companies which might be working in this field is nothing but NVIDIA. So we have a NVIDIA Center of Excellence here. So nowadays, in that field also, robots are being used. So and a company like NVIDIA is also working in the field of robotics. Now, what does the course consist of? So basically, the course will consist of firstly the basic information about what is a robot, how they are used, and the basic parts of a robot. The second, it deals with the motors and actuators. So motors are the ones which are causing the rotation of the various parts of a robot and how they perform. So you must be familiar with various robots like a stepper motor or a DC motor, which is used in fans. Then the controllers, so various controllers which can be used for designing a robot or controlling a robot. Then the programming. So there is no specific programming per se as such. So it depends on the various type of controller which you are using. Programming could be even a simple Arduino or Arduino programming which is present, or it basically depends on what type of controller you are going to use in robot or while designing a robot. So the fifth unit basically deals with the various case studies and how you can use or perform during the case studies, and create various projects which can be considered as one part of your course activity and part of your curriculum. So this is the basic structure of what is present in the unit, and why should the take up this unit or this course, sorry. So this will be the basic reason is that there is no prerequisite as such, but you need to have interest in the field of robotics. That is the one of the prerequisites that is necessary for this subject, that you need to have interest in this field. And as the next decade is going to belong to robotics, you need to have interest in this so that you can get proper information about it, get proper knowledge about it, and it will help you in recruitment and work in various fields as well as the in placement opportunities in various companies. This is the brief introduction about the subject. Thank you.
Uh, Hello, students. Good afternoon. From the Information Science Department, we are offering a open elective Introduction to Data Structures. So this is one of the important subject from the industry point of view. As okay, you have studied C programming in your beginning of the courses. It is the extension of that. So generally, the data structure is used in the development of operating system and all. Okay, the concept of it is used in the network programming and all. Okay, the opportunity wise, this subject is having a better scope. The subject course code for this is 22 IS 641. It is a 300 course. Okay, the objectives of this course is to introduce elementary data structures. It will give emphasis on selection of data structure for a given problem scenario to provide insight to linear and non-linear data structures. Generally, data structure, it is nothing but the way we are organizing the data. Okay, for example, every day we use a mobile where you get the messages in inbox and email and all. Okay, generally we know the last message what you have received is we are going to read first. Okay, so this is a concept of a data structure. Here we have organized data as a stack. In this subject, it is having a three different units. Sorry, five different units. The first unit is regarding the introduction to the data structures, where we discuss about what do you mean by array representation of array traversal and all. Second unit is concerned with the stacks, the operations we'll discuss in the stack and the application of it. Third unit is a queue. Fourth unit is a linked list, and the fifth unit is a trees. Okay. So all these and the textbook for this course is a Balguru Swami. And this course it is not having lab exam. It is a 300 course. Two IIT test of 30 marks will be conducted, and 40 marks it is a OBA. We have to conduct uh, assignment for this. So generally the CIE will be conducted for 100 marks totally, and the application of this subject is come into picture as from as the systemic programming point of view. And generally, as you might aware, uh, whenever we execute a multiple number of applications in a computer, only one application will run in the front end. The remaining applications, as you are aware, it will run in the background. Okay, so internally it is handled by operating system there. Okay, and in the operating system, the data structure which is used for implementation of this is used. Okay, so this is very much interesting subject. Here we are going to discuss about the way the data has been organized in a computer. That's why it is called as an introduction to a data structures. Okay, from your placement point of view also, this subject plays an important role if you want to join IT industry and all. Okay, so I request you to student to opt for this open elective offered by Information Science and Department. The course is Introduction to the Data Structures. Thank you. Sir. Thank you.
Hello students, today I am here to give the introduction about the operations research which is floated as an open elective from the mechanical engineering department. The course code is 22ME642. This is having a credits as 3 and it is LTP of 300. Okay, total contact hours is 40 hours. So what exactly this operation research? This operation research finds its roots from the Second World War, where anybody need to maximize the profits as well as minimize the costs. The profits need not be always in terms of the money, but in terms of the resources. Those resources can be the human power, um, human power, the time, or the money also included. So this particular operation research is a typical subject where the students, the professional will use for any of the decision making, either in the professional or the personal life. Okay. For the MBA students, this is one of the mandatory subject. Although it is, seems to be MBA subject, but a mathematics is involved. Typically, this subject is a mathematical background, but taught by the mechanical engineer. Okay, so in the unit first, we have got the introduction to OR, where we talk about the definition of the OR, scope, and the phases. So what are the limitations, characters, and models used in the OR, and we'll talk about the linear programming. Then the next in the first B, we'll talk about the solution of the linear programming problems. So what is the simplex method, what the canonical and the standard form of the LP, and the slack and the surplus variables. These will give a fair idea about the mathematical formation of the problems. And basically this is related to the matrix and its applications. So we'll be solving the real-time applications or real-time problems using the matrix method in terms of the linear programming, where we want to optimize the things. Generally, we are always confused about the optimization, whether it is a maximization or the minimization. Remember, the optimization means the what is the objective. If you want to maximize the a objective function to maximize, such as a profit, then it is a maximization problem. Whereas if the loss is there or the cost is there, you have to minimize. The second one is the transportation and the assignment model. So the transportation and the assignment model deals with the how you are going to use the various OR models to minimize the cost or the maximize the profit. In the case that whenever the transportation is there, you have to look at where is the destination, where is the source, and how it can be minimized. And for that, we use the different methods such as the northwest corner method and the Modi method. Okay, and to get the initial feasible solution using the different methods, those things will be dealt in detail. And the next one is the assignment. Assignment problem basically deals with how we can give a best person the best suited assignment, such as if a person is good at one skill, the assignment should be demanding those skills. The matching of this one will maximize the profit, or what we say, the optimize the solution. The next one is the game theory or the queuing model. Game theory is somewhere related to what is called as a negotiation. So negotiation or between the two different two oppositely placed different parties, such as the union and the management, okay, or a cab driver, okay, and the passenger, like that one. Okay, so how to negotiate those things will be dealt here. So that will be based on the either saddle point with the pure strategy, mixed strategy, uh, different types of the methods such as the graphical method will come into picture. Okay, then the dominance rule. The next one is the queuing theory. The queuing theory belongs to the how we can use the resources appropriate. If you go to the any of the reservation centers and the other things, then you can see that the long lengthier queues will be there. Those lengthier queues will be somewhere uh, somewhere costing the management as well as the service. So how we can we have the any numbers? No. So how much we can have, and what should be the optimal time of the waiting? It cannot be zero, but what could be the optimal? That is the unit 3. Whereas the unit 4 will talk about the sequencing. Sequencing means what? If you take any of the particular process, the sequence has to be followed. Such as if you are from a computer science student, you can understand first you have to go for the flow chart, then program, then printout. This cannot be changed. The same way, how these things can be used for the daily life and the different applications. Then the next one is the network techniques, or the what we call as a CPM and the PERT. These are the project management system. So anywhere, any corner of the life, whatever we are talking about, it is a project. So how we can minimize the resources project, whereas we have to complete within the time. Many times you might have used, so time is not time was less, or the paper was lengthy. So even starting from the paper or the solving a paper, it requires something called as a project management. For that, we use the two things. One is called as a critical path method, and second one is the project evaluation review technique. This is the unit number 5. So totally out of 40, we have got the 4 flipped classes, and the books, it is nothing but the PK Gupta and DS Hira operations research. The library strength of this book is around in terms of the 100 plus books. Okay, then other books are also there, such as the SD Sharma, then Taha, Hiller and Lieberman, etc. So these are the some of the books, as well as the some of the books that this particular course have. Now, question comes, sir, why this subject? Please try to understand the greatest science of the world is the common sense. But however, there is no mathematical form or a systematic format to teach the common sense. OR is one of that subject where we are giving the mathematical form for the common sense, how to negotiate, how to take the decisions, how to minimize the uh, your cost and maximize the profit without violating the any of the merits or what we say the performance. This is about the subject. This is will be very useful in your professional life as well as a personal life. Okay, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Anupama Kallod from Mechanical Engineering Department, Professor. I'll be offering Industrial Engineering and Productivity Management as an elective to all as open elective. So, as the name indicates, Industrial Engineering and Productivity Management, the focus is in this syllabus or the course is on productivity improvement of all organizations. So every organization or every industry wanted to improve their productivity. So the next question comes, what is productivity? Productivity is nothing but as it is analogous to efficiency of the machine. So you can write it as output by input. Output here we refer as number of products manufactured in a given period of time or service rendered to the customer divided by the resources that are being used. So then the next question will be, what are the resources which the industries are using? So resources are usually we write them as 4 M's: material, machines, manpower, and money. So every industry is the coordination of all these resources. These are the resources which are being utilized, effectively being used to transform the resources into using some processes, transform these resources into finished product or service. This is what every industry is doing. So every industry is striving for improving the profit. Nowadays, the profit word is not being used much. Of course, it is there in the statistics, everything. If you want to show, you can show it. But at the same time, the most important or popular word is productivity. So, what is productivity then? Productivity, the same, the output by input, as I mentioned the definition. So, how to improve the productivity then? Productivity of the every industry or any industry, maybe a manufacturing industry or service industry, can be improved or can be increased by using various techniques. So, techniques which are available to us are known as work study techniques or industrial engineering techniques. So, in the first unit, you are going to learn, as you can see here, this is 22 ME 643 is the course code for this subject, and the 3 credits are there: 100 marks question, CI is 100 marks, SW is 100 marks, and 45 hours classes are there. And course learning objectives and all you can go through later. So first unit is productivity only. So very very important and very popular word these days is productivity. So every industry is striving for improving the productivity of the organization. If you increase the productivity of the organization, every stakeholder in the organization are getting benefited. Okay, every person working, every stakeholder in the organization is getting benefited. How and all that you are going to learn when as and when you are going to study the lessons or unit. So that is the first one. This is human factor involved in that, or what are the resources, how the productivity can be improved, and what are the factors that are affecting productivity, that you are going to learn in the first. Second one is introduction to the work study. Work study is nothing but the technique which is being used in improving the productivity of any type of organization, that is maybe manufacturing or service industry. Just I want to mention manufacturing industries wherein we are manufacturing the products which are tangible, maybe automobile industry or the assembly type of operation where we are manufacturing mobiles, your electronic industries, anything where we are manufacturing laptops, TV sets, etc. and service centers, service industries. Service industries are maybe software industries where they are providing the service to the customer, or software industries wherein banks, hospitals, educational institutes like GIT and all. Those are the service industries. Whatever may be the type of the industry, work study is the technique which is being used to improve the productivity of the organization. How the objectives, the scope, and human factor involved in work study, and job analysis, how to do the job analysis, how to do the job evaluation, what is job rotation, and all that you are going to learn in the second unit. Along with that, you are going to learn about wages and incentives, which are very, very important. If the person who is doing the work at your organization is happy with his wages or incentives and all, his efficiency will improve. If his efficiency will improve, definitely the productivity of the organization or efficiency of the organization will definitely improve. Okay. Third unit, the and work study can be divided into two parts. One is method study and work measurement, or time study, we call it as. A method study, that is the third unit, method study, wherein you are going to learn by using various techniques or various formats like charts, diagrams, okay, and other things are there which we can use them as tools to improve, conduct the method study. So method study, conduction of method study means you'll have to select the job in the workplace and decide from where it starts and where it ends, and then record all the relevant information by using the charts, and then each and every step need to be evaluated or studied or critically examined, and then develop the best method of doing the job. That is method study, which will help if you improve the method of doing the job, then it may consume less time, less resources, less energy, less labor, or wastage of material can be reduced. All this, that the intention of conducting method study is to reduce all the waste. That is method study, and various charts and all diagrams and all you are going to learn in third unit. Fourth unit is micro motion analysis, wherein you are going to learn it is method study is one. In that method study or motion, that is also known as motion study. The next part of it, the same, if you continue, that is related to micro motion study. Micro motion study is related to micro movements, wherein the repetitive short duration type of operations are being carried out, assembly type of operations are being carried out. There we are going to apply this study or analysis, that is micro motion study. There you are going to learn about phases of micro motion study, thermalics, principles of motion economy, CMO chart, and all those things you are going to learn in fourth unit. And you are going, once you develop the best method of doing the job, you are going to install it in the organization. Once you install it, then you will have to go to the next unit, that is introduction to work measurement. Work measurement, once you have developed the best method by conducting the method study, then work measurement will come into picture. So work measurement is nothing but you are going to apply various techniques which using which you are going to establish the time required to complete the job, which is already method studies, which doesn't have any non-productive elements. This is what is required, and this work measurement is very, very important, because we'll have to decide the wages. How you are supposed to decide the wages of each and every worker in the organization, the number of machines utilized, or the incentives to be given. All this is dependent on how effectively you conduct the work measurement of that particular process or job or activity or operation. So that you are going to learn various different types of work measurement techniques are there. That is that is very popular one is stopwatch time study, and then a predetermined motion time study, that is PMTS it is known as, and work sampling and other techniques are there which we are going to learn, which we are going to learn. Okay, that is in fifth semester. So this is about the introduction part. It is very, very interesting subject. Theoretical, only 10% of what is that? Analytical part is that only 10%, and 90% it is theoretical. Very interesting. Most popularly being used in your Bench, Bosch, and other industries and all. Every industry still they are using all these charts and these techniques so that they can improve the productivity of their organization. They can make more profit, and standard of living of the people are increasing or improving, and all those things are related to this industrial engineering and productivity management. So I'm, as I mentioned in the beginning itself, Dr. Anupama Kallol. I'll be taking this subject from many years in our department. So you are welcome to, and if you wish to opt this, please do that. And I'll be taking the class and I'll explaining everything during the classes. So you can go through the syllabus and reference books are also there. It's a good subject, uh, and it is relevant for any engineer. Any engineer. It means that even you are in software industry, productivity improvement is required. Even if you are in automobile industry, productivity improvement is required. Even in bank, how the things you can make more efficient, more effective, and all. We need this subject. So very popular subject, common to all. Everybody can use it. All industries, service industries, manufacturing industries, software industry, anything it could be. So we can use this subject. Very interesting and beneficial if you learn this, and you can apply it to yourself also to improve your knowledge and other things. Okay, to improve your efficiency also. I particularly if you want to mention. Okay, so this is about industrial engineering and productivity management subject. Okay, so thank you. So see you in the class then, right? Okay. Thank you.
Yes, good afternoon to one and all. Today I'm here to give a brief introduction about the course Linear Algebra, which is floated by Department of Mathematics as an open elective. So in this course, I'm going to give you the detailed relevance of the course. The relevance of the course, the first, so that I'm considering it is for ranking in search engines. Uh, Here, one of the most important application of a linear algebra is in the creation of Google. The most complicated ranking algorithm is created with the help of that is linear algebra. Here, the highest eigenvalues and eigenvectors are come into the picture. The second one, that is signal analysis. Uh, so it is a massively used in encoding, analyzing, and manipulating the signals that can be either audio, video, or image. So next, third one is linear programming. So here, optimization is an important application of linear algebra, which is widely used in the field of linear programming. Fourth one, facial recognition. An automated facial recognition technology that uses linear algebra, algebraic expressions, the called as the principal component analysis. And the fifth one, that is graphics. An important part of graphics is uh, projecting a three-dimensional scene on a two-dimensional the screen, which is handled by linear maps, which are explained by linear algebra. So now the detailed syllabus. The first unit is that is basic abstract algebra, so which is needed to continue in the order linear algebra. So here the first concept is that is groups, permutation groups, isomorphism, field. These things we are going to learn, and the finite fields. Next, in the second unit, the vector spaces. So here vector space definition, subspaces, basic basis and dimension. Next, that is summary of row equivalence, computation concerning subspaces. So we'll learn in the second unit. Third unit, that is linear transformation. Here we learn that is linear transformation and its algebra, that is isomorphism, representation of transformation by matrices, and the next is that is linear functional, and the last one is inverse linear functional. Next, in unit number 4, inner product spaces. Here we learn inner products, that is inner product spaces. Next, orthogonal sets and projection. Here in this orthogonal sets and projection, we are going to learn that is Graham's process of orthogonalization. Next is QR factorization that we learn in the unit number 4. And the last unit, that is unit number 5, symmetric matrices and quadratic forms. Diagonalization, in this we are going to learn diagonalization, quadratic forms. Next, that is constraint optimization, and that is singular value decomposition. Here singular value decomposition is going to be very important in this particular unit. So this is all about the introduction about that is the course linear algebra. Thanks and thank you one and all.
Hi guys, this is regarding the open elective for year 6 semester. This course is being offered by EC branch, collaborated with Vayavya Labs, which is an Belgium-based company, and also we have it in Bangalore. So the syllabus is curated by Vayavya Labs themselves. So this course is a basic for your 7th semester course, learning the C programming. So you all will be knowing the C programming. So Linux programming is one of the advantage which you can write the driver's code, um, then get into embedded systems. So yeah, this is much about that. So the prerequisites are basically C programming. So if you know the C programming and you can be able to do the Linux programming as well. So, coming to the syllabus, so basically it is um, Linux-based programming. As it's a Linux-based programming, you must be knowing the C data types, C functions, C structures, and C basically writing the loops, arrays, everything. All the basics of the C must be knowing before you choose this open elective. So in the first unit, you will be having the Linux or the basic C concepts. So Linux line, command line. So how will you be using the OS and which OS you will be using? Say suppose is it a Ubuntu or a Fedora? So these are the two main OSs which goes into Linux programming. So it's basically a command line programming, and you also have a GVim editor, a graphical Vim editor, or it's just the Vim editor where you can write the code and execute the files. So the coding standards and what are the importance of the Linux you'll be studying with. And also there will be some self-study topics. And in unit 2, it goes to C2 binary and memory. So how does a pointers and arithmetic is done, how the arrays are being written, strings are being written, how the memories are stored. So then debugging and functions. So how once you have written the code, you need to debug it, right? So how the debugging it goes. It is also a command line debugging where you use you must be knowing the GDB where you use for the C programming as well. So that also goes into the Linux programming. Then preprocessor and user defined types, multi-file programming. The concept of multi-file programming is important because in case of Linux programming, say suppose if you write a driver. So basically this is focused on the driver programming. So once you write the driver programming, it's not just a single file. It might be a multiple file. So if you write one piece of code in one file and the other piece of code in the second file. So you must be able to handle both the files and how the compilation is done, whether it is a soft link or the hard link, which is being done between two files. So that is the main concept of multi-file programming. And uh, the course outcome are obviously this is a basic for your Linux device driver. That is a 7 semester course. So once you know what is Linux programming and what all it goes into, it will be easier for you to understand the device drivers. And yeah, so also this will help in your logical thinking and analyzing the programs which is being written. Yes. So the assessment wise, basically it is in internal coming to CIE, continuous internal assessment. So CIE has 100 marks. So 25 marks will be one IA and 25 marks will be a lab. And yes, you should get minimum of, let me show you this. So this is a syllabus. Basically, the course code is 22 EC 647. It is of 202 or 202. Two will be of your classes, 2 hours of classes and 2 hours of labs. So 2 hours lab is again almost like 50% is handled by Vayavya Labs. So Vayavya Labs guys will help, and the internal guys will also help you to do the labs. It is as it is an industry based program. So yes, so 2 hours lab will be there, and then 3 credit points in total, and CIE is of 100 marks, SEE is of 100 marks. So as I explained before, there are total of 5 units which goes into yeah, and then so this is the CI. IA test will be one IA test will be conducted, that is of 25 marks. One lab IA test which is of 15 marks, which will be of 2 to 3 hours duration, and the project of 60 marks. So project of 60 marks is again divided into two phases: 25 marks for phase one and 25 marks for phase two. In phase one, it goes like what is the problem statement, what are you picking up, then how you're approaching it to it. In phase two, it goes to complete execution. So 50 marks there and plus the 10 marks for your project report. So this is completely your CIE assessment. Then if your SEE you'll not be having a written theory for SEE. It will be 50 marks for your lab, which is the open-ended. If you can see here, it's for write-up and execution. One open-ended experiment is done, 20 marks write-up and 20 marks algorithm and 10 marks for execution. So what is the project valuation? So basically you'll be having another 50 marks as a project valuation, where you will be writing the project and writing the report, plus the hardware execution and the software execution, and your voice that will be of 10 marks. So there is a minimum criteria for you to pass this, that is 35%. It should be greater than 35%, but it should be overall CIE plus SEE should be greater than 40%. So your SEE will include both the internal as well as external examiners. Your project and the lab will be evaluated by external as well. So this is pretty much. So to rephrase it again, this is an open-ended course which is given by Vayavya Labs. So it is an industry-based program. They have curated the syllabus. So it is of 202, 2 hours of learning class and 2 hours of lab. So you will be having the lab is being done by ourselves. Like we will be carrying out how the Linux programming is done, and also the CI will be like one internal I of 25 marks, and then one lab test of 15 marks, and the project is of 60 marks. And one more important point, as I mentioned earlier, if you pick up this course as a 6th semester open elective, this will be continuing in the 7th semester, which is a Linux device driver. So there is no option to change in the 7th semester once you opt this Linux device driver, Linux programming. The basic Linux programming is the base for your Linux device driver, which is in 7th semester. Thank you. That's me.
Recording tournament. Good afternoon, everybody. Myself, Professor Abhay Kumar Janaj, EE department, would like to handle the open elective subject, renewable energy sources. The course learning objectives. At the end of the course completion, you will be able to understand the energy scenario of the world and understand the importance of renewable energy sources, and especially how the solar geometry is used to track more power from the sunlight. Similarly, you will be able to understand energy generation from thermal, solar thermal, and photovoltaic systems. And to explain the energy conversion process, biomass and different types of biomass plants, how the energy is generated. You will be understanding their principle and working. And to study the fundamentals of energy generation from wind source. What are the different speeds within which the windmill can generate power, and how the power varies as the wind speed changes. And apart from wind, you will be studying the energy storage devices like batteries, fuel cells, and their use in industrial and commercial context. Coming to the detailed course content, in Unit 1, we will be discussing about energy sources, importance of energy, and how the prosperity of a country or a person can be measured in terms of energy consumption per capita, per capita, and how the countries are divided, developed, underdeveloped, overdeveloped in different category based on the consumption of energy per capita, and how the energy sources are classified, mainly conventional and non-conventional energy sources, and comparison of these two types, and what is the world scenario, and in Indian context, how the energy scenario is there. Similarly, solar energy basics, you need to study what is solar constant, basic how the sun earth angles, and definition of their representations. Solar radiation, how the irradiation will helps to find the power to be tracked from the solar, tracked from the solar. Similarly, there is the unit 2 deals with solar electric systems, energy storage, solar thermal power generation, solar pond, and concentrating solar collector, like for example parabolic trough, where the solar energy can be concentrated, parabolic dish, different types of solar collectors are there, and central tower collector, and their respective advantages and disadvantages. Solar photovoltaic systems, we are having on our rooftop, college rooftop, solar photovoltaic system, which is generating around 450 kilowatt power. Similarly, how the solar PV systems classified, their construction models, how an array is formed, panel is formed, stand alone and grid connected. Applications, we can use solar PV systems for the street lighting, as we can install a solar array, and above that we can put a street lighting. Domestic lighting, nowadays the Prime Minister's Har Ghar Bijli Yojana, under which the solar PV systems are given at subsidy rates individuals. So by installing those rooftops, you can generate, you can utilize the excess power, you can integrate with the grid, export with the grid, for which you can gain money also. You can gain money also. Suppose if you are having any storage devices at on the spot, you can store and you can sell it anytime. For example, during evening peak times, the cost of energy will be high. In that case, you can integrate your energy if you have particularly storage devices. You can integrate with the grid. Similarly, nowadays with subsidy, every farmers having bore wells or tube wells are given solar water pumping systems at a subsidy rate. At a subsidy rate. So because of these pumping systems, so as the load on the grid will be reduced, as the pumping is required for irrigation in summer season. Similarly, the summer season power produced will be more. So same, we can save the energy. We can save the energy or at lesser cost. It's the cost. And even as nowadays in summer season also, the supply system sometimes in some areas they are giving 2 hours only during a day and night, 2 hours a day, 24 hours of a day, 2 hours they will be giving during summer. So we can, by installing these solar pumping systems, they can have their independent source. They can feed their farms by their means, by means of pump sets. Now coming to the unit 3, which is thermal system, principle of solar radiation into heat. Solar radiation can also be used to convert it into heat directly. For example, we can use the dryers, onion dryers. So what are the things we, grapes, for example, grapes can be dried by using the thermal system. Similarly, we can use solar water heater where we use flat plate collector, or we can use the tube type collectors. Solar cookers, box type, concentrating dish type, solar dryers, solar still, solar furnaces, solar greenhouses. So these are the different thermal systems which you are going to study how they work, their principle, and what are their applications. Now coming to the next part of unit 3, biomass energy. What is photosynthesis process? What is biomass fuels? Biomass conversion technology, urban waste to energy conversion, biomass gasification, biomass to ethanol production. Usually nowadays, as this part of Belgaum, we are having more number of sugarcane industries which are using biomass to produce ethanol, which can be used as a additive for the petrol, additive as a petrol and all, vehicles and all. Similarly, there are the models called as a KVIC, Karnataka village, those models, and similarly Janta models, which are coming as a biomass energy. Now coming to unit 4, you will be studying wind energy and its properties. What is scenario in wind, scope of wind in India, and what are the basic principle conversion system wind energies. They are classified horizontal and vertical wind energy conversion system, horizontal type and vertical type. Those mills are erected, and similarly how the what is expression power generated by the windmills is actually cubic, proportional to cubic of the wind speed. So small change in wind speed will generate more power. Energy can be integrated with the grid. And similarly, what are the points to be discussed to select wind site, and what are the advantages or disadvantages, and some simple numericals on the wind energy conversion system. Now coming to the last unit, which deals with energy storage devices. So fundamental batteries we can use as a energy storage, or we can use the emerging trends in batteries. So similarly, fuel cell fundamentals, alkaline fuel cells, acidic fuel cells. Similarly, what are the emerging areas in fuel cell and their application for industry as well as applications. So as the subject in India, the renewable energy sources, whether it is a wind, solar, or thermal systems, or any storage system, it is gaining boom nowadays. Boom nowadays. For example, Reliance has their separate organization to take care of the energy system, these renewable energy systems. Similarly, if you take Mahindra, who is pioneer in installing and commissioning the solar power plants. So the energy requirement will be more and more day by day. So the scope for this renewable energy design and their implementation, right, installation, and their working, knowing these things is important in these days. So you can make your mind to take this subject as your open elective. See you in the classroom. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. I can moderate.
Hello students. So this is about the elective offered from architecture department. It is on sustainable architecture. So myself, architect Neha Pandit, and along with me, one of the senior faculties, architect Pratiksha Navelkar ma'am, would be taking this studio for you. So the basic requirement for this studio is basic AutoCAD and SketchUp, because it's a portfolio driven elective. You will have to present your drawings in the form of a portfolio. Those are AutoCAD drawings. So what are we going to cover in this studio? So this is the syllabus here. So to sensitize the students to the issue of sustainability, to understand the need of sustainable architecture through traditional wisdom, to understand sustainable approach in contemporary build forms in Indian context. So we'll be looking at what are the design considerations for sustainability, what are the materials, what are the different approaches with which we can build any kind of a program, whether it is a small house, whether it's a resort, whether it is a farmhouse. So depending on that, the sustainability issues will be taken into consideration. Then we'll be also looking at traditional wisdom. So what do you mean by traditional wisdom? All the houses that were built in the past, okay, all the houses that were built by the kings have sustainable features in them. So those will be taken into consideration, and how we can imply those in today's modern design will be taught in this particular open elective. So how are the units divided? First is introduction, sustainable architecture. So environment and efficiency, different aspects of sustainability like water, energy, earth, waste, and materials. Sustainable built environment issues and approach. So first would be the introduction and how different elements where water, energy, earth, everything is considered to make it more sustainable, or how we can use these forms of parameters to make our design sustainable. Then is the sustainable concepts. So sustainable concepts in traditional architecture in different climatic zones in rural and urban contexts. So we design buildings according to the climate. So sustainability is different when it comes to humid climate. Sustainability is different when it comes to cold climate, and it is different when it comes to hot climate. So according to climatic zones, it will be considered, and these basic methodologies would be taught. Students of study of sustainable built forms and contemporary approaches through various case studies. So a lot of case study analysis would be done for you all to understand better how these concepts of sustainability are used in different designs. Then design exercise. So once all the theoretical part is done, we will come to your design concepts. So design would be given to you all. Design means problem would be given to you all, whether you all have to design a small part of a building. So the students have to design a residence applying the concepts of sustainability. The class will be divided in groups, each group studying in different literature case studies to understand the applications of sustainable design concepts and then applying them in design. The exploration of the studio to be produced in the form of drawings at the end of the semester. So when you're producing these drawings, you would require AutoCAD and SketchUp. So this was the basic understanding of the syllabus. So I will just show you a small introduction PPT for you to understand what else we can cover in sustainability. Yes. So I hope the video is available, the PPT is available to you all. So this is what the definition of sustainability is for today. So sustainability is the practice of using resources in a way that meets the needs of present without harming the environment or future generations. Okay, so we have to see that we are not taking resources a lot from the environment and we are giving it back to save the earth. It's about creating conditions that allow humans and nature to coexist in a productive way. So these are the basic definitions of what sustainability is and what sustainable design is. So what do you mean by sustainability?
the ability to maintain or support a process continuously over time. And what is a sustainable design? A design approach that seeks to minimize negative environment, social, and economic impacts. So, sustainable design is a design strategy that considers the environmental, social, and economic impacts of the products and services throughout its lifespan. The goal is to reduce negative impacts on the environment and people's health. So when we are considering sustainability is about the lifespan of the building as well as the health of the person who is staying in that building. So if we have good amount of natural light, if we have good amount of fresh air inside a building, our lifespan as well as our health also improves. So how does sustainable design work? So we work on the principle of 3 R's. So recycle, reduce, and reuse. So this is the basis of sustainability. So everybody knows what the 3 R's are. So what is the first one? Reduce waste. Sustainable design reduces the amount of waste created by products and services. Reuse and recycle. So sustainable design encourages the use and recycling of products and materials. So nowadays we are aware that everybody is trying to make eco-friendly projects, eco-friendly designs, eco-friendly materials. So where you can actually recycle or revamp or retrofit a particular item or a building. So use of renewable energy. Sustainable design uses renewable energy sources like wind, solar, and hydroelectricity. So everybody is aware of solar panels, wind turbines, windmills. So all this is nothing but using the natural resources to create energy rather than depending on products like coal, coke, okay, which are actually being extracted from the environment and it is having a huge implication on the resources. So this is how the sustainable design concepts revolve around. So we have renewable energy, ecological value, passive strategies, whole life cost, transport, health and wellness, sustainable materials. So all these will be covered under the introduction of sustainable design, how all these parameters contribute to a sustainable design. So here are a few examples where we see that the buildings nowadays do not have any particular identity with respect to climate, but a very much adaptation from the Western cultures. But our tradition actually moves around the climatic zones. So we have different features for hot, dry places, cold places, and warm, humid places. So according to our traditional wisdom, these were the implications or these were the design strategies which our people in the past used to define. So looking at the buildings or looking at the houses, we could actually identify from which region they were, where the identity has been lost now. So what are the climatic considerations? It is essential. So designing for different climate is a challenge and an opportunity for sustainable design. Climate affects how buildings use and save energy, how they interact with the natural environment, and how they provide comfort and well being for the occupants. So, here you can see you have some screens that are used, some kind of sensor systems that are used to protect your interior spaces from the harsh sunlight. So, these are called as facade designs or fenestration designs, which come under energy efficient architecture. So this is a more advanced level or more advanced designing more than sustainable architecture. So all these come under energy efficient strategies. Then we'll be studying about considering the sun path. We'll be considering how the light and ventilation, how the wind, air flow has to be taken into consideration for the betterment of indoor spaces. So if you design your building with careful considerations of the sun path, you can take advantage of the natural strategies like natural daylighting, passive cooling, heating, PV energy generations. Okay, so all this will be introduced to you all during sustainable designs. So here we have a few examples where they have tried to consider the ancient techniques of courtyards. We had courtyards during our olden houses. But that concept was lost when we jumped into completely air conditioned buildings. But architects are realizing that we need to go back to our vernacular planning and get back the traditional techniques into our designs. So this is like a contemporary way of adding a courtyard into a building. So sustainable design is also known as green design, environmental conscious design, or eco design. So this is one of the examples of how a courtyard can be taken into consideration in a contemporary way. So here we have a lot of green terraces. So where the people staying or working in the buildings can come out vertically. They don't have to come to the ground floor because we have high-rise buildings. And the people who are working at the top level can also interact with nature with the help of such kind of terraces which are built at intermediate levels. So this is also incorporating sustainability at the facade level. So water also plays a very important role. So shading the water bodies, using the spaces around the water always gives a pleasing effect. So here we can see they have raised the mound in such a way that it is shading the areas around the water body. So people can sit and use this space and enjoy the water. So these were a few examples, and we'll be looking at many more such examples for sustainable architecture. So this is the basic gist of what sustainable construction or design can be. So save energy and water, maximize durability, minimize waste production, ensure the cleanliness of the building, use eco-efficient materials, decrease weight, plan conservation and rehabilitation, ensure safety conditions at work, minimize the life cycle costs of the materials. So all these will be looking at in detail during the elective class. Okay, so with this, we come to the end of the introduction. So it is a very interesting studio. We also plan for a live case study. Last time we had taken the students to a resort, a small farmhouse where they could actually see how the sustainable materials are being implemented in the design. So we will try to accommodate similar methods for your class. Thank you.